Brett. There we go. 3, 2, and 1. Well, Mary Katie, welcome back to Mayor's Monday here at WSAU, WSAU.com. Just so everybody's
Virtual.
aware, both of us are healthy. We're all fine. We've just got a lot going on right now. So the Zoom is more out of convenience than anything else. Plus, I guess it's been a while since people have seen my Jaguars stuff. So why
I'm
not?
glad you can rep that.
Why not? Yeah,
Yeah.
hey, I mean, Cam Robinson is signed. We're going to get Aiden Hutchinson and boom, watch out.
Listen, I'm still in Tony Baselli world when it comes to the Jaguars, and I don't even know how long he's been retired. So,
Well, he's been retired more than 5 years. We know that because he's going in the Hall of Fame, but he's also waited like 7 years longer than he should have to get in the Hall of Fame. But, yeah, exactly. But that's something else for another time. So before we get too far off the rails here, obviously, a lot, it was 2 years ago. Right now, your world was a lot about COVID-19. And right now, here we are 2 years later, your world is about PFAS.
It's true.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah, basically, we've switched one kind of emergency related to health for another. I'm really glad that our COVID numbers are going down so that we can focus on what we need to when it comes to this PFAS issue. Did you have I cut you off.
yeah, indeed, because again, it's a health issue. The city has issued the formal drinking water advisory, which there's no new information in there. It's really just kind of a formal language that the DNR requires you to put out there. So people that are seeing that advisory may be thinking, what is there here? Well, it's what we've been talking about for the last 6-7 weeks or so. But we'll just kind of start from what happened last week, which was the added the funding from the ARPA dollars for bottled water and water filters.
Yep.
But we don't know when we'll be able to pick up filters yet. Just first off, give us an idea of what you're leaning towards there, because you didn't really settle on anything solid, just that this is what we're going to do.
Yep. So we have a couple of options when it comes to these filters. We wanted to make sure that it was an equitable, decision no matter what. So when we were talking about some of the best filters that, go under the sink and you have your separate spigot, those are great. But if you live in an apartment and your landlord doesn't want you messing with your plumbing, that might be a problem. I had a couple of people approach me and say, hey, I'm not allowed to install anything. So we needed to look at that. So what we did was we looked at the Department of Health Services website, and they have a link to all of the NSF kind of certified products. And there's a list of maybe between 10 and 20 products that say that they remove PFAS. So we are looking through the list to see what we can get that would be convenient for all kinds of people. So likely you're going to see a variety of products that we'll have available. We're going to have one more meeting about this because as you know, or maybe you don't, or as we're learning, when we're using ARPA funding, we have to make sure that we're following the federal procurement, guidelines. And so we have a couple of, it's mostly housekeeping things to vote on, just to make sure that we're following the right process. So then we'll have that. Likely we'll start ordering next week. And then we'll have bottled water. We have federally sourced water. We have some others that we need to look into. So yeah, I mean, we're moving on it. It's a little slower, I think, than everyone wants, but we also want to make sure we're doing the right things.
Yeah, indeed, because and I'll use myself as an example. I don't like to, talk about myself like this in these situations, but what I did, I went to the website, looked through the list of filters, and eventually settled on, one brand. I dropped, however many dollars on it, got a few filters for backup. I got a brand new pitcher, and, they were able to deliver right there. I took care of myself. But I also said, hey, if I'm going to get reimbursed, if we'll get some free ones, then I guess that's just gravy on top of it. But what I settled on was the zero water filters, which have been really easy to use. It comes with a tester even to tell you how your water is doing. And it's I've been using it for about 3 or 4 weeks now, and it's still working like a champ. And I would say I'm happy with it. And even then, if we do get this problem solved in August, which we will, then my filters are just going to last that much longer.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. So some of these filters obviously are made for taste and odor and whatever. But the one you picked up is one of those that's on the DHS website. So good work. That's an important one, and it's convenient too, right? The pitcher style seems to be what everyone can use, no matter what their situation is. So yeah, we should be getting going on that.
Yeah, indeed. And then as far as the bottled water goes, I know there was a lot of discussion about that because right now the neighbor's place is the only place that's distributing the water like that. And some people during the joint meeting last week said that they wanted to see more distribution points throughout the city. Is that something you're working on as well?
Yeah, and I would say this, so they have been helping us lead this charge because they have the warehouse space.
Mhm.
Water's really heavy, so they have it. But they've been working with United Way to identify some other places where we could drop water. So Hmong American Center, some other places. We've been talking about the women's community. How do we make sure that everyone has this? So I expect that you will find other agencies that United Way partners with also having some of this water, but we've been letting the experts deal with kind of what that looks like logistically.
Yeah, because even though not everybody gets services through the neighbor's place, the water that is there is available to everybody, regardless, because they want to be distributing it to everybody in the utility.
Yeah, so if you need it, pop on over. They're not going to stop you from getting the water. That is
Mhm.
definitely, yep. So
So, as far as the next phase of this goes, then you said we're going to have one more meeting coming up where you might be able to approve the purchase of the filters and start ordering and things like that. When can we expect that? And then I guess my last question on this: when can we expect possibly some sort of announcement regarding the filtration at the new plant? Because you've obviously approved the financing for the pilot study there as well.
yeah, so we should have more details. All of this stuff feels like it's kind of coming in so quickly that it's hard to keep a handle on it. So I feel like if I say anything about that, the logistics of the filters coming in, it will be wrong by the time this airs on Monday. So we should have the best information available at that meeting about shipment dates and like when we can have that available. So that will be coming on Monday after that meeting. But as far as our drinking water facility goes, the pilot study, the stuff has been ordered to do this pilot study, and we should begin getting data as soon as that's in place. Now, obviously with science, you want to repeat things and make sure that you have the right data. So they'll be working on that. The study can go as long as it needs to, but we should be able to start collecting that data pretty quickly here.
So, the last question then about this: do you feel now that we are closer to a solution on this than we were 6, 7 weeks ago when this was first announced in the middle of January?
Yeah, I feel like there's still a lot more that we need to do and a lot of information that I need to find. But I feel at least that we're working in a direction together with the policy body too, right? Like, so it's really hard when you're trying to figure out like what kind of solutions can we make and we don't know what people want to do with their money, with the taxpayer dollars. So I feel better now that we're kind of moving in the same direction. But I'm
Uh,
not going to feel good until I get that notification that the water we're providing to everybody is under 20 parts per trillion. That's my focus.
Indeed, and hopefully that again will come by the end of August. This can all be behind us, and yeah, who knows? We'll be on to the next thing or something like that. Because
Can
at
you
that point,
not say that?
at that point, we're
We
gonna
just want
have
to have a glorious summer celebrating 150 years of Wausau. Like, can we have a break?
yes, yes, we
Okay.
can.
Okay.
But by August, we're going to have another election to
Oh,
talk
yes.
about. And I
Yes.
know that is something that is right up your wheelhouse. And in fact, we have an election coming up here in just
Yes.
in less than 30 days.
We
So
do.
what do the residents need to know about those municipal elections that are going to be coming up here?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And obviously we've had some court decisions that have changed, how you can drop off your ballot and things if you vote absentee. So yes, we've got an election coming up on April 5th. Our entire county board is up. Our entire city council is up. We've got a circuit court race. We've got the District 3 Court of Appeals race, which is not contested, but it's interesting to look through. And obviously we have school board. So there's
Mhm.
for people to sound off on. We've got a referendum. So people should, if you want to vote early, you can still do that in-person absentee voting at City Hall, starting 2 weeks before Election Day. I know all the ballots are here already, so they'll be ready for you once you start showing up. And we can help you with witnessing that and making sure they get to the right place. Now, obviously, we had the Supreme Court decision that said we couldn't use our drop boxes for the spring election. So if you show up with your ballot, you won't be able to put it in the drop box. The drop box is locked. And we're still kind of waiting on what that means. Obviously, clerks across Wisconsin are lobbying and working with the people who represent all of us to figure out, the best way forward. That's probably going to be complicated and snarly. And, you
Mm.
obviously need people who are in Madison doing the work too. And I know they're getting ready to gavel out for the year. So that's going to be a whole nother thing. So, but right now you can vote in person early 2 weeks before the election. You can vote at your polling site. If you don't know where to go, you can check out wivote.wi or my vote. Oh my gosh, my vote
Myvote.wi.gov.
wi.gov. I know I got to look at this. So you'll be able to see it. You can look up what's on your ballot. You can see all that information. So got a lot to vote on.
Yeah, indeed. Myvote.wi.gov
Thank
is where
you.
I had to go. I got redistricted. I got my polling place got moved. But again, what people need to know right now is if they do get a mail absentee ballot by mail, to submit it, they either need to mail it to
Yep.
City Hall
Yep.
or they need to go to City Hall and drop it off inside.
Yep.
Correct? They cannot use the drop box.
That is correct. Now, if you showed up randomly and you're like, oh my gosh, City Hall is closed, and if you have enough time, we do have a mailbox right outside in front. So you can
Mhm.
pop it in there and it'll, go to Green Bay or Milwaukee and then come back to us. So
Yeah.
if you have time, you can still do that.
Yeah, indeed. And then the other option, correct me if I'm wrong here, you could drop it off at your polling place on election day,
You
correct?
can do that too. Yep.
So you do still have those options to return the absentee ballots. And as you mentioned, the box, it's locked up there, it's closed, it can't be used. It is going to stay there though for now because again, you're waiting on court decisions and you don't know what this is going to mean for the primary in August or the general election in November.
Yeah, so I anticipate more discussions taking place at that legislative level. Maybe the court system. I wish I knew, I had some insights here, but
Mhm.
we're just gonna wait. Hopefully we'll be back up and running with that box. Otherwise, figure out a way to repurpose that amazing thing.
Yes, indeed. Take the wrap off it, turn it into a mailbox or something like that.
Love letters to City Hall. You're welcome to send them.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. We could make something happen there as well. Uh, it's the possibilities are truly endless when you get creative
Truly.
minds
Yeah.
together like this. Again, we're going into the summer months. Obviously, that means we're thinking we might be done with snow removal. We don't know that for a fact. We probably won't know that until the end of April. But this winter's been relatively mild as far as the street department is concerned. You have to feel good that you save some money there on snow removal and potholes are
Yeah, I
obviously
mean,
going to be an
I'm
issue for the
seeing the
next few
potholes
weeks.
pop up now, and I'm like, ooh,
Hmm.
that's a big one. So I think
Yes.
I know our team's already gotten to work on filling some of those. And probably next week with the beautiful weather, we'll
Hmm.
be out there filling more potholes. But yeah, we did save some money. And also, I know I posted something on Facebook about the brine that we use on the streets. And people were like, oh, I didn't know what that was. So that actually allows us to use a lot less salt, and it keeps the ice from even bonding with the road. So it's we're coming up with innovations, even if
Hmm.
we have less winter to deal with.
Yeah, indeed. And the money though that you saved, it's not something that's going to be used to buy water filters though for PFAS. That does actually
Probably,
stay
yeah,
in a lockbox, correct?
yeah. We're probably going to come up with some other road projects for that stuff. So yeah, sorry,
Right.
folks.
Yeah, yeah, fill some potholes wherever they may be. If people do have one in front of their house though that has just been a thorn in their side, how do
Call us
they
up.
let you know
Call
about
us
it?
up. Yeah, I wish I had the number right in front of me. I wasn't prepared for this, but
I wasn't either. So,
yeah, call our streets department. They will definitely take up down your information and be able to put that on our schedule. So,
mhm, indeed, and by this time in by June or July, we'll have absolutely perfect, pristine roads to drive on. Correct?
oh man, look at you. Do you know something about the wizard that's coming to Wausau? The
Can't
pothole
I
wizard,
can't
is that a
I
thing?
can neither confirm nor deny, but by
We'll do
then,
our
by then,
best.
we'll do our best. Indeed. Well, Mary Katie, we always appreciate the time. We'll look forward to chatting again next month, and hopefully by then we'll have some better information on PFAS, and everything is just going to magically cure
Right.
itself, right?
I feel like you're building up all this anticipation, and I want to believe. So thank you for that confidence, but we will see. Let me manage the expectations. This is
Sure.
my hope. But we'll see how we're doing next month.
All right. Sounds good. Well, we again appreciate the time. We'll chat again.
Thank you.